Good morning, not Vietnam. Good morning, Samoa. Yes, it's one of those types of streams. And welcome to Star Trek Lower Decks, Season 4, Episode 5, Empathalogical Fallacies. I'm sick. Was I sick last week? I think I got sick the day after the last stream. But, yeah, I'll try to save you from the most of the coughs. This week has been kind of like Worst Contact, the very short trek. I'm doing better, but yeah, today might not be the longest stream because I'm gonna have a cough that is ever growing as I keep talking, and also being sick. That'll color the view of the episode, and that'll give me less to say. I'm looking around. I don't have any tissues by me. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Did I say tissues? I meant paper towels. That's the kind of day it's being. But yeah, so that'll. Oh, look at that. We're already capturing the right window in OWS. Yeah, before we get too much into the Lower Decks episode, as traditional, we start. I just checked that. Now we're not capturing that window. Great. That was right until I actually went to put it on screen. There we go. The very short treks, holograms all the way down. It's the best one, which is not saying much, especially given it never made me laugh, never really got any reaction out of it, and you can deduce the entirety of the episode from the title. But, you know, it's got that, it's got Trip, it's got cameos, so that makes it the best. At least the joke escalates. It doesn't just go on. This is cursed, though. This is... I know we wanted more Prodigy, but at what cost? At what cost? Look at Rock Talk blinking here. Yeah, I've muted the outside. Dang it, we're not going to see Rock Talk blink. It's cursed. It's... I don't know how you would have done Prodigy, and also Tendy's voice is a little weird, because they're also animated, but they've got the old-timey, like, voice filter over it. It's kind of weird. But hey, at least it might not be conservative propaganda against political correctness, so, you know, that's a... I hate that I have to say that. Oh, look, and here's the frame that I just randomly clicked on. Yeah. Next piece then, the actual Lower Decks episode we're here to talk about. Yeah, it was kind of jarring not having a cold open. I know Lower Decks does that sometimes, but I was worried when I saw this in the trailer that there was going to be like a Betazoid episode that they'd kind of just make all the Betazoids like Roxana. What's going on, man? It's kind of like Worst Contact over here. We're a little ill. We're congested. No Alex today, as you might see in the comments, but they're dog sitting. But yeah, I was worried they'd make all the Betazoids just like Roxana, which would really diminish kind of Betazoids as a whole. Well, you know, they're more than just Roxana. It kind of makes the species feel very one note, which is a common problem in sci-fi that I will always defend Star Trek does not do. I think Star Trek does very good not making the species all one note. But, yeah, that's exactly what they did. Is they made the Betazoids basically just Roxana. Which is probably my biggest actual complaint about this episode. Because, yeah, it's... I mean, it would have been Roxana Troy if she was still alive, kind of thing. And I just feel like you should make the Betazoids more than the one Betazoid we've actually... Well, we've seen more than one, but, you know, they're not all Roxana. Ugh. As I said, not feeling the best. Going on, again, this might be a real short live stream because I don't know if I have too much to say. It was a good, some kind of like look at Talin and a character episode about Talin. More so at the end than like going through the episode, but again, that might just be the fact that I am sick and it would take, something truly amazing for me to really be gripped and like praising it on days like this. But yeah, oh gosh, is this gonna be just like a 15-minute stream? I hope not. There were some small little callbacks and references that were quite fun. Someone pointed out to the board, there's a board game that they're playing at some time in the background at some point in this episode that they like fly off the table, and it looks a lot like the interactive VHS experience board game from like the 80s or 90s or whatever. You want Lower Decks to add to canon, man? That might be asking too much from a show like Lower Decks. No, I don't, strictly speaking, want it to develop canon. I mean, it's like, why... I feel like I don't want it to, like, actively take away. And this was very much like, well, we can't have Roxana, so let's just have some Betazoids that are like Roxana. Because Roxana was a Betazoid, therefore all Betazoids must be like her kind of argument. And, yeah, I was just afraid as soon as I saw it, like, let's not just make them Roxana. I do, like, I don't know, I didn't get much out of this actual B-plot with Boimler and the security teams, but I do really like Shaxx, especially at the end, and, like, how'd Boimler put it, his holistic view of the, security on the Cerritos. I almost said the Enterprise. That shows you how clear-headed I am right now. But yeah, I am liking Talin, I think, as an addition to the crew. It took a little long, I think, for them to bring up that, like, hey, everyone's acting weird. We've got 3 Betazoids on board. This is a thing that can happen. Like, you know, I don't remember the name of the symptom. They brought it up. But, you know, I get real critical when I'm sick. I've mentioned this before. It wasn't a bad episode. It didn't feel as good as the last one, but again, part of that might also just be I'm sick. Like, it was good character work for Talin. I think really just the fact that the Betazoids were all just like Roxana really diminished things for me. Just because of, you know, they're a species. They're not just all clones of the first actress who played a Betazoid. And I know there's Deanna, but Deanna's half Betazoid, so I mean, it's kind of like Spock. If you can't really look at Spock and determine everything about Vulcan culture, which is what a lot of people do, but hey. It was a weak episode, but saying that, it was still above par. Yeah, I think it was definitely above par because the stuff at the end really got me. Just both Talin and Shaxx, like, the ending was strong. That was good character work. It is unfortunate, though. I mean, again, this one's a little weird, but of the 5 episodes we've had, 4 of them feel like they're a little, I don't know, they're a little under. Like, is Lower Deck sort of running out of those real good first ideas, or I don't know, maybe, I don't know. maybe Strange New Worlds really was just very good, and then this is a step down from what Strange New Worlds had. But I'm never one to praise Strange New Worlds as much as the fandom at large does. I get kind of annoyed by it, honestly. Like, when I pop onto the Star Trek Reddit, anytime there's Stranger Worlds is going on, it's just full of people talking about how Stranger Worlds is, like, the best thing that ever happened, is perfect Star Trek. I'm like, God, no. It's not. It's really not. Paraspa was. And then that's, like, everything else I can flaw. Like, yeah. That's how you know I'm sick, is I'm slamming Strange New Worlds. I also noticed, have we actually gotten any Shaqs this season before now? Because I feel like this is the first time we've seen Shaqs in a long time. By the way, I knew that Malcolm Reed was in this episode. I didn't know how they were going to do it. I was a little disappointed when I saw this puzzle. I'm like, oh, that's how they're getting Malcolm Reed in it. Stupid screen rant with your clickbaity articles. But I think they did a pretty good job with everyone kind of like, I don't know what you'd call it, crazy, like over emotional and all that. Like, it was kind of fitting to their characters with Tindy and Mariner. Like, Tindy just got super emotional and like cryy and stuff. Mariner was a little more level-headed, but like, I don't know, she had other things like, yeah, I've got a gorgeous mom. He's like, I gotta go save my mommy. I think they did pretty good with that stuff. And you know, I think it might have also just felt a lot like some other older episodes. I mean, even Lower Decks kind of had this already with the Naked Time. Is that what the Lower Decks episode is? Where I know it was a hologram, but everyone was like going crazy. And of course, we had the Deep Space Nine episode where Roxana had that actual symptom. We had the Naked Now and the Naked Time from TOS and TNG, so maybe it felt a little unoriginal, but I think it would have worked better if the character work with T'Lyn was a bigger focus of the episode, like it was with Tindy in the last episode, because it really only started shining, like here, is where it started shining, because we actually got into that, and even with Shax, like, I've always said it, Lower Decks has always shined with, like, the character work it does and those stories it tells. And then, where is it? I want to get that frame. I did love that when everyone was sort of, quote-unquote, drunk, like, had all their heightened emotions, that Tindy just became some sort of adorable creature that the whole ship needed to protect. And it was like, you hurt Tindy's feelings, we smash. That I mean, because it's true, you know, Tindy is precious and we must protect Tindy at all costs. But ow, sorry. And on top of being sick, I also got 2 vaccines on Friday, and in the same arm. And so that's rather stiff now. And what I just did there was lift my arm a bit, and that hurt. So, yeah, it's not been great, because those vaccines, I was getting over an illness, and they were like, nah, it's fine, you know, as long as you're not feverish or whatever. And then, of course, the vaccines kicked up my immune system a little bit more, so I've, like, regressed a bit into being more sick. That hopefully shouldn't last. I didn't even notice the game, which I think that's even just what it's called, the little ball game, whatever, from Tall Murph, or whatever his name was. It wasn't Murph, but... Jack's Law, they beep it out, but the F-bombs they drop get me every time. Yeah, this is one where actually... I think it worked a lot better, just because of, like, the emotional state of the crew and all that. T'Lyn's was a bit... I don't know, almost cringy. But other than that, yeah, I kind of like that. It's interesting because they bleep it out. You never really notice, I feel, the swearing in Lower Decks, but it really is like pretty excessive. It's almost noticeable in the Strange New Worlds crossover that they're not swearing, because they didn't do the bleeps in Strange New Worlds, so they didn't do the swearing. But no, yeah, the bleeps were good in this episode. And look at Tindy. She's precious. We must protect Tindy. And I see why the entire crew turned against them. What was it? There was one other reference I thought I wanted to get. I don't know. I might find it. But yeah, I mean, it was also nice to kind of see, you know, what the security teams get up to when there's not a security threat, because this always bothers me. In TNG especially, I don't know if the other ones do it, but TNG is the one where this really gets me. Any threat in the Next Generation aboard the Enterprise, right? He's like, you know, Picard to security, get a team down here or whatever. It's 2 guys. If it's a big threat, it's 4 guys, and maybe Worf is there. Any threat. Does not matter. Q showed up, 2 guys and a Worf. You know, it's the Borg are here, 2 guys, Worf. It's any threat. I'm like, what the hell is the security team doing? Like, when there's a red alert, when there's any threat on the Enterprise, surely the entire team could be on it. Like, the entire security team has nothing better to be doing than dealing with this threat. And so this is actually, I feel like this is what any threat in Star Trek should be. Like, it's a red alert, the entire security team shows up. It's not just like Frank and Jim and the other 20 guys have the shift off. They don't clock on till 4. Jexlaw, I added it to my #1 playlist, but you see the Tendi used as sex symbol in Lower Decks actual footage video. I have seen like the links. Either YouTube recommends it to me or it comes up in Google. I have never clicked it because, I mean, with a premise like that, I feel I'm going to disagree with it from... It seemed like the kind of video of... Someone said that the very short treks feel like what people who complain about Lower Decks think Lower Decks is. And that's kind of the vibe that I get from a video like that. Oh my god, it was so funny. I don't know. I don't know if it's for me, but yes, I have seen... I'm aware of that video. And of course, Shax and... Oh my god, I can never... What the hell's the doctor's name? Tiana? Tiana? Oh my god, David C., thank you for the $20. I want to read that out, absolutely shouting it. Alright, I don't know how that's gonna go. Here we go. We've got the emergency sickness bowl. For doing the live stream today, even though you don't feel well. Well, here's a super chat. That went pretty well. I am under cough medication. But yes, thank you, David Z, for the $20. I get what you're saying, but haters will hate. But, you know, I liked... sometimes it's a bit too, like... I guess sexual would be the word, yeah, with the Tiana and Shax. I hope it's Tiana. It's something like that. But I like this where just like, he's like, honey, you know, maybe we should try those. Be careful, no yelling. I would have stopped if it got bad. I intentionally took some cough suppressant for this. But I might have a cough for a while. I get these lingering coughs sometimes for like a month after I'm sick, so I'll often sound worse than I am. But today and yesterday as well has been a mix of like feeling nauseous and hungry which is the worst. I need some applesauce, but we don't have any applesauce. And it's like, I don't know. Oops, after this, I'm gonna have to try and find something to eat that'll be pretty soft, but we'll see. God, I completely lost track. Is this where we were? Yeah, I don't know. This is another thing, is I'm too sick to actually go about, like, is this a thing Vulcans can do, just project their emotions like that? And I'm like, you know what? That's a question for a healthy Nathan. That's a question. Wait, did Sarek do that in the episode Sarek? Also, yeah, it bothered me that Mariner said Spock's dad and not Sarek. But, I think he did a bit, maybe? I don't remember the Bendai system, whatever. Me too, when I'm sick, I always end up with a cough. Yeah, I hope it goes away. I'm getting married next week. That would be unfortunate. But, yeah, hopefully I'm back to normal by the weekend. Sarek did it in TNG. Okay, cool. I don't think he did it much, but it might have been mentioned. Choo-choo. That poor replicator. Choo-choo. This did get me a little bit. I'm like, yeah, okay, they didn't enter the neutral zone. They did. The Romulans entered the neutral zone, but, you know, that's the Romulans. Alex and I have a running joke where, every time in TNG, I'm like, I always treat the Romulans like they're incredibly trustworthy, and, you know, they're talking about, we gotta enter the neutral zone, like, go to the Iconian homeworld, and it's like, oh, you know, but that'd be war with them, and I'm like, yeah, the Romulans would never enter the neutral zone. We watched the one where, it's like Geordi and a Romulan are stuck on Galorndran Core. And the whole thing, I was shocked. Like, they rescue the guy, and he's like, it was just me, a one-man craft. And we see the other guy, I'm like, no, the Romulans wouldn't lie. He must live here. It must not be a trick. And it bugs Alex a lot, because I always just believe the Romulans at face value, and act absolutely shocked when they go against their word. I'm starting to get all the timelines mixed up, though, because I saw for a moment, like, is it still illegal to go in the neutral zone? And then I remembered, no, hang on, we're pre-Nova. It's definitely illegal. I don't even remember if there's not a neutral zone in Picard. Is there? There's at least the former neutral zone. I don't remember. Picard's kind of weird with how it does the Romulans and what state we're in with the Romulans. Like, we're still apparently subject to the Treaty of Algernon, even though the empire we made it with no longer existed. In the new Romulan Free State, you would think is a little friendlier with us, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, going on. I still don't care much about the mystery box. I'm a little confused as well on the relationship between, like, the Federation and its children, its member organizations. Like, they did all have heightened emotions and stuff. But I'm like, yeah, so the Betazoid Intelligence Agency had their cover blown to the Federation. And so, they're the Federation. I don't know, the states of America don't have intelligence agencies, so that's always a little bit weird. Maybe that's why, because the Federation of Star Trek always seems to be slightly less centralized. Like, there's a certain level of autonomy, like all the planets have their own little research places or their own sort of Starfleet or whatever. And then the only Federation I know of, and probably the go-to example is, of course, America, which is very centralized. Like, the states can't do shit if the federal government doesn't want them to. So, I don't know, it always gets a little bit weird when you start getting into, like, the planets acting independently from the Federation. I'm pretty sure you can't do that in America. Like, it's literally unconstitutional for a state to work with a foreign government directly, like they have to go through the feds. I'm pretty sure it's like basically a little wall. It's like if you're a state, you're gonna go through the federal government to get to anything outside America. But Star Trek doesn't seem to be like that. You got the planets going into treaties and all that. Just crazy stuff with non-member states. We remembers Tindy's trait of always wanting to be friends with everybody. I agree. Talin, let Tindy give you a hug. Tindy's precious. We need to protect Tindy. Give Tindy everything they want. They're gonna be a captain one day. Oh my goodness, Tindy. There you go. Here's your thumbnail for Lower Decks uses Tindy as a sex symbol. But I'm so annoyed that, like, this season has gotten so many amazing, like, Tindy's entire facial expression range for reference images. Do you know how hard it was to get reference images for that thumbnail? Like, Star Trek Tindy excited. I was getting nothing. Like, and now you just got all the reference photos you need. All the Tindy references you could want. Yeah, and then I think I will probably start wrapping up because that cough is just gonna get worse. Let's actually check. Whoops. Star Trek Memory Alpha. Oh yeah, I can't go much longer. Lower Decks Memory Alpha. Look at that, just in time. Because now, basically every other word out of my mouth is going to be a cough. And no one wants that. Next episode, we don't know what it is. But my review will not be on Saturday. Thank you, Jackslaw. I will take it easy. It will not be on Saturday because I'm getting married and getting the keys for a house. And then I'm dealing with moving into a house after that. So we are going to be doing the live stream on Friday sometime between 4:30 p.m. and probably like 7 p.m. I don't know, trying to make it easy because I work on Fridays. I can't really cater to Europe and stuff, but I want to make it so all of America can watch it. Might be a watch it with dinner kind of stream, but you know, it'll go up sometime on like Wednesday or Thursday. You'll see. I'll schedule a time. I just need to know I have enough time to get home and watch the episode. And I need to know. I might need some time to like wind down after work, but we'll see. And then hopefully we can still do the 14th, that next episode. I don't know if we'll have internet. I might have to come back here, but we'll see how things go. Lost train, yeah. A lot of change is a lot of stress, even if you don't feel that way. Honestly, right now, I don't know what I'm going to get through next week, just because it's going to be so boring. Like, all the housing stuff is done. I just got to sign, like, a final contract. And then it's that, like, 7th, everything kicks off. It's like, I just want to start that stuff, you know? It's just going to be so boring waiting for the days to tick down. But it'll be good. We all right, in the left brain. Sometimes it's part of us that does not speak, that is feeling. You know, yeah, we're good. Sorry. And then after that, once we're settled, hopefully there'll be more videos, more normal stuff. Oh, that was what I wanted to mention. It looks like I've heard the strikes look like they might be coming to an end. It looked like the Writers Guild and the studios have reached some kind of agreement they're finalizing. So we should, by the end of Lower Decks, be able to just go back and continue our TOS watch through. So that'll be good. That'll just take us through Prodigy. I might still do some Doctor Who, like the new episodes in November, at Christmas. But we'll see how things go. But yeah, we will be a lot more free, it looks like. But yeah, I don't know. I just saw the headline that, like, looks like they're coming to a close, so I'll look into that more when the time actually comes. But yeah, that was faster than I expected, almost. From where I'm standing, it's like, oh, Lower Decks is coming to an end. Paramount is, about to run out of their content well, but, I mean, the studios are bigger than Paramount. Well, why is it humanity evolved? If you're eating, go now. There's your warning. If you're eating, go. Why is it when humanity evolved to have mucus in your throat and stuff, you know? You got a runny nose, it gets back there, it builds up. When you gotta get it out, how come you can't cough it up through your nose? You gotta cough it up into, like, the back of your mouth, and it's awful. That's what my day's been. It's that's what today and yesterday have been. So now you've dealt with the sickness. Now you gotta get all the mucus out of your system. I did warn you. But yes, thank you all for watching.